Now back to Experts on Call on News Talk 580 CFRA.
The Fall Home Show returns to Ottawa after an 18-month break due to COVID, but protocols are in place. Now, we'll touch on those shortly. Experts on Call continues with our guests Robert Johnston, manager of the Fall Home Show, Emma Terrell, the urban botanist, who we just heard from, and now we're pleased to welcome back Jason Burggraaf, executive director of the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association. Good afternoon, Jason.
Good afternoon, Dave. Thanks for having me back. We're glad to be back at the show and glad to be back on your show.
Oh, it's great to chat with you again, Jason. We were just chatting before we came on that, wow, it's been quite a while. I guess, the Fall Home Show of 2019 was the last time we had a chance to chat.
Yeah, it was. We had a good show that time around. Got a good focus on residential construction trades, and we're looking to get back into it.
All right, well, let's do that. Let's have a little background to begin with, Jason, on the association and how it kind of came about.
Sure. The Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association has been around for over 65 years now. A number of home builders got themselves together to, promote a good business environment and to have some representation at the city. So they didn't have to have, every company talking to staff at the city at all times. They had someone to talk on their behalf. And it really helped them build consensus about what was going to be good for the industry, good for the city, good for residents in terms of home building, in terms of housing affordability and having enough supply for people.
I got to ask you, Jason, how has COVID generally affected new and renovation work in the Ottawa area?
There was a brief blip of activity that got shut down. I mean, home sales shut down for about 2 weeks and then immediately started to pick back up again. So new home sales, new home construction was relatively untouched because, of course, activity is outside. All you had to do was, manage your trades a little better, schedule them so that there was more separation in between. You had a limited number of people who could be on site. So that part went fairly smoothly overall. And there's still lots of demand, lots of sales out there. For renovation was a bit harder, of course, because you're typically in a house with people who were living there. So renovators really stepped up. They, blocked off the section they were working with either plastic or semi-permanent structures to kind of give themselves separation. Typically, a separate entrance. Bring in a porta potty if you need it. But everybody. Residential renovators and home builders really stepped up to up their health and safety protocols.
Let's talk a little bit, Jason, about the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association mission. It's a great mission statement. It's basically a 3-point plan. Let's talk about that.
Sure. I mean, the big mission is to help members achieve their business and really achieve their business goals. And promote affordability, quality, and choice for consumers at the same time. This is really, a win-win for both the industry and for home buyers and renters. So the first kind of piece, as we talked about before, is kind of really advocating for the regulatory change to make sure that housing policies that are controlled by the city really work out, they're feasible, and that they achieve their goals without increasing costs too much to the consumer. So we spend vast majority of our time on that. And then a lot of the rest is professional development for our home builders, for our renovators, the people who kind of come in and do business with those, like estimators, suppliers, manufacturers. And then we also do awards programs so that not only people can get acknowledgement of the good work that they do and the high quality designs, but they also gives the public a chance to kind of really see what's the leading edge out there in terms of home construction.
I guess that information and more can be found at the Home Show next weekend.
Yeah, we've got a great booth set up. It's going to be a nice big corner booth. And what we like to do at the Fall Home Show is not just, we won't have staff there to talk about GOHBA, but really have renovators, general contractors there so that there's a real expert on call, to steal that phrase from CFRA. They're manning the booth so that if you have questions about projects, there's someone right there who does those sorts of things, who can kind of walk you through a bit of the process, or what they, you can consult with them about it. And then we're also going to have videos of Reno Tour, which is our a parade of homes type, but for renovations. So typically in the fall, we would have had an open day where you could go and tour renovations through the city. You could see people's kitchen renovations or basements or what have you. Of course, with COVID, you can't do that with people's houses this year, but you can see it online and walk through them virtually with little metadata to tell you, what the materials were used or what color it is. So if you want to visit that, it's renotour.ca. But you'll also see a streaming video of it at our booth at the show.
So this seems to me it would be of interest to not only the professional builder, but also the individual homeowner, perhaps getting some tips on some of the things that they might need to do.
Yeah, we really want to strike. This is, the time of year when people really think about what they want to do, the planning for, say, next year's renovation projects. They're looking for ideas or inspiration, or they have kind of a vague notion of they want to increase their living space, but not sure, is that a basement? Is that, a 3-season outside room? So it really gives an opportunity to talk with an expert on those ideas and really start building your vision and what it's going to take to achieve it.
I just want to go back to the association itself for a sec, Jason, and it's been around Ottawa for an awful long time. How many members are currently in the association? And the number of homes built, say, over the years? This is really impressive.
Yeah, there's over 320 members of the association. We represent the vast majority of home builders. Of all the home building that gets done, I bet you 90% of it is done by GOHBA members. There's very few that are not typically the ones who, new companies that are moving from Toronto or Montreal and doing one-off projects are kind of the only reps we don't have here at the association. And home building, depending on where you draw your lines around Ottawa, it's somewhere between 7,500 and 9,500 homes a year. So the majority of home builders in Ottawa also, of course, build those homes in Rockland, Kemptville, Arempire, the Environs just outside of Ottawa as well. So there's a huge amount of activity. Ottawa has been trending very, very high, again, between that 75 and 9,500 number for 2 or 3 years since in the past. And now I expect that number to stay this high because demand is just so strong.
Absolutely. I got to ask you, Jason, above and beyond the home show, which is coming up, what are some of the services in general that the association provides to builders?
So we talk with the city about the housing policies in terms of site plans, of construction, performance standards, parking rates, anything and everything, development charges, everything that affects home ownership and really, on the ground building, how long it takes to get a permit and have that permit and how long it takes to construct things sometimes. So it really runs the gambit of everything that the city does that affects home building because, the industry needs to have that voice at City Hall. And we really like to think that we represent not only just home builders, the companies, but actually people who are going to be looking for homes, not just the ones who are buying homes now, but people who are going to be looking for homes 10, 20 years down the road, who aren't even thinking about, what kind of home or where that home is going to be yet. But our builders are, already thinking, okay, there's got to be, a new building, a new intensification building here. There's got to be apartment over here. There's got to be a new community over here for to make sure we have enough homes for the population that we're expecting to grow. Ottawa is going to increase by 400,000 people over the next 25 years, and they all need homes to live in during that time. So we've got to make sure that we make our plans now so that everyone has a home.
Jason, the association is promoting skilled trades as a career. How can they help an individual interested in pursuing this?
So thank you. We've got a number of good avenues for people. People come to me all the time and say, we're promoting skilled trades. How do I get into it? So there are a couple of real good spots. Of course, there's Algonquin, which has a number of programs. You can visit them. But we've got some particular programs with, say, the YMCA Employment Services. There's a green building program There's a Built by Her program where women can explore the different trades, and both of those programs come with a placement for a number of weeks so that you can really get your hands dirty, as it were, and see if it's the spot for you. And we have a new program that we're dealing with Enter Quality, which will actually sit you down, give you some training, give you the PPE, give you the boots that you need, and place you with someone for 6 months for a home builder locally, so that you have the opportunity to get that career, get some experience, which is always the biggest problem. So anyone who's interested in a career in residential construction trades can reach out to me just at Jason, JASON, at GOHBA.ca.
Thanks again, Jason. Great conversation. Best of luck with the show coming up next weekend.
Yeah, thanks. We'll be there and looking forward to see the crowds.
You're very welcome. Jason Burggraaf is the Executive Director of the Greater Ottawa Home Builders Association. Experts on Call will continue in a moment with the manager of the Fall Home Show, Robert Johnston, on News Talk 580 CFRA.
We'll return with more Experts on Call on News Talk 580 CFRA.